Hey, what's up, Cosmic Soul? Today we are going to talk about shadow work. Ugh, who wants to talk about shadow work? We do. You and I do, because you and I both know how important it is and how much it can free us from our minds so we can start creating the most amazing lives that we can for ourselves. We're also going to be going over how baby steps are the most important steps to getting what we want. So I hope you're ready. Let's get to work. Welcome to the Cosmic Soul Podcast, your weekly microdose of motivation and inspiration to get you charged and ready to manifest the life you were born to live. I'm your host, Debbie, here to remind you that you are the creator. Let's get to work. Hey guys, welcome back to the Cosmic Soul Podcast. It's me, Debbie, and it is absolutely beautiful where I am right now. I'm in Dallas. I don't know where you are, but I bet it is gorgeous. So if you haven't gotten out into this amazing spring weather, you should really do that after you watch or listen to this podcast. I am so absolutely grateful that you're here with me right now. I couldn't be happier. We got an awesome show today. It's going to get a little shadowy. We're going to kind of dive into our brains and kind of analyze those things that are kind of holding us back, but we find that actually it's ourselves that are holding us back and not those things that we are possibly blaming. Also, we're going to talk about how little baby steps towards our goals really are the big steps in the long run that get us to manifest those things that we want to create. Before we get started, I want to share with you a special announcement. I'm so excited. I finally got my website to have an actual name. Before it was like cosmicsoul.wixsite/home/cosmic soul, something crazy like that. But now it is officially cosmicsoulreiki.com. Yes, Cosmic Soul Reiki. I think maybe if you go back a few episodes before I started on this bi-weekly schedule, I talked about the reason that I was moving to bi-weekly was because I was going to start working on my Reiki business. So I did it. I took a bunch of little baby steps and now it's official. I actually want to shout out to all the people, I think there's about 20 of you, who volunteered for free distance quantum crystal Reiki with me. I'm still in the process of scheduling everybody, but your experiences are going to help me with my experience, and testimonials are going to help. We're just going to help make this world a better place through healing, and I could not be more excited. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely do that, because that's where I put out those announcements for things like, hey, I need some volunteers for this, and you can get a hold of me. So yeah, follow me. Instagram is Cosmic Soul Podcast. All right, let's get to work on our tarot card of the day. And like I said, it's going to have us kind of look deep within at our own shadow. So this is the 8 of Swords that we're talking about today. Okay, so we got a very frightened looking woman here, or at least pretty nervous, and she's blindfolded, surrounded by 8 swords that are sort of placed a little unevenly, like she's in a trap, but whoever made this trap or this jail must have had something to do, because they left a lot of open space where she could definitely escape. But because she's blindfolded, it's preventing her from seeing, and she has no way of finding her way out of the trap. The barren land around her might signify like a lack of creativity of some sort. Maybe, she just can't think of any good ways to get out of this situation. And then the gray sky in the background kind of, signifies despair, since there's that feeling that there's no hope, and her breaking free from this situation is just kind of seems like it's hopeless. But really, if she could only take the blindfold off, she would see that she could just walk out of the trap, out of the situation. Oh God, she does look really miserable. I'm scared. But yeah, your thoughts can be like daggers, or they can be as soft as feathers. It's really up to you what you're going to focus on. So what is it that's haunting you right now, or what's causing you stress? Is it, money? Is it your job? Is it your relationships? Is it I don't know, car trouble, things like that, bills, what is within your power to control and what is not? So you have to really, that's a great exercise. Like writing things down is just so helpful. So, write it down. What is in my control and what is not in my control? And those things that are not within your control, get them the hell out of here, right? I mean, what good does worrying about them do? Absolutely nothing. If you have bills, for example, you have bills, you're worried about bills. Do you have all the money you need right now to pay off all those bills? Okay, no. So what do we move to now? We move to the things that are in our control, right? Solutions, right? Solutions. So every single problem, big or small, has a solution, and your brain loves to work. We talk a lot about being in a more heart-centered, living from our heart, right? And the brain is a very, very important organ. Obviously, our heart and our brain are what put out those electrical pulses. That's what creates the electricity in our bodies. But like I said before in the last episode, our heart has 5,000 times more energy that it puts out than our brain. But we do have to put our brain to work. It is useful, and it loves to work. That's why it's always moving. If you're not like a really mindful person or you don't meditate, your brain's probably constantly just talking, and that's no fun. But so back to everything else about solutions. So I've been taking some coaching classes, and one of the things that I found really interesting is when they talk about the brain, and uh, a lot of things about coaching is asking questions. And they were telling me that a lot of the problems in our life don't come from dwelling on problems. It doesn't come from that. The answers don't come from that. The answers come from the questions that we ask ourselves, right? You ask yourself a question, like kind of like the what ifs. That's when we really create that prison, when we're like, oh my God, what if this happens? What if this goes wrong? You know, that's a negative way of looking at it. But if you switch it to more of a positive what if, like, what if this goes great? What if this happens? What if this better good thing happens? When you can rewire your brain to think in a more positive light instead of focusing on the negative, amazing things happen. So questions can empower or disempower us big time. And this was something really interesting that I learned was when you ask yourself a question, you activate this part of your brain called, what is it? Reticular activating system. And it's a very small part of your brain that is really, really goal oriented. So when you ask yourself a question, it like goes right to work and it just keeps on working and working until it finds an answer. That's why, like, whenever you are trying to think of like the name of a movie or a quote or somebody's name or anything like that, and you can't think of it and you don't look it up on your phone and you just kind of go, about your day. And then out of nowhere, it comes to you, the name of the movie or whatever it is you were thinking about just comes to you. That's because that little RAS system in your brain has been working the whole time. Isn't that crazy? That's amazing. So that's why it's so important to focus on, those what ifs that are in a more positive light, because then in the background of your brain, you'll be thinking of more positive solutions. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. So instead of putting yourself in that prison, focus on the good, positive stuff. Okay, so now that we got that part out of the way, which is more of the what we focus on, the questions we ask ourselves. Now we can get to the other part of this card, which is the victim mentality. Oh my God, how many times have we come across somebody who was just swimming in the victim sea? I know that I myself have done that a few times in my life, and you probably have too. And it is not a fun place to be, honestly. And basically, all that means is that that person who is playing the victim is not taking responsibility for their own life. They're blaming everybody else for what is going on. I know that it's scary to take responsibility. I think that, people who play the victim, they may even kind of be addicted to that mentality, but also, you know, that that taking your power back of taking responsibility for your life is scary as hell. It's very scary because it's shadow work. You have to actually be honest with yourself. Like really, really honest with yourself. And it's hard. It's hard to admit that you have flaws. We all know that we're not perfect, but we've got stuff going on that a lot of times is really hard to look at and accept about ourselves. Whatever it is, it's very hard. But whenever you do that work and you're like, okay, I love myself, I am going to take care of myself and create the ideal life. And the ideal life really starts with the ideal you, the ideal me. That's exactly what it is. You want to mold yourself into a better, if not the best version of yourself. And in order to do that, you have to chisel away at those things that are holding you back. So it's very hard. So if you know anybody or have known anybody that, played the victim a lot, I know it can get a tad frustrating and annoying, but, kind of focus on your heart and, kind of not have sympathy for them, but, don't get so frustrated, because they just haven't gotten to that point yet in their life where they're ready to take that leap, that really, really difficult leap of being really, really honest with yourself. And sometimes when you're in that position, it's a lot like a prisoner. I don't know if you've ever seen like Shawshank Redemption, but there is a character, and I feel so bad I can't remember what his name was. I used to watch the movie all the time when I was younger. But this old guy spent, I would say, most of his life in prison, and he was afraid to be released from prison, and because the world is big, and inside that prison, that's what he knows, and it was safe. But eventually, he did get set free, and he ended up killing himself because it was just too much to bear. It was too much. We get so comfortable being where we are. Sometimes you can never imagine why somebody would stay in a situation that it's just because the thought of leaving it and change is very difficult. So, you know, if you it's within your power to be honest with yourself. It's so empowering. It's the most empowering thing you can do is to be honest with yourself and start taking those steps to get out of that victim mentality mindset. Claim responsibility for your life. When you put your life in the hands of other people, that's so, I don't know. That's just, you feel like you're a victim of circumstance all the time, instead of creating your life. So basically, take off the blindfold and don't be afraid of the truth, because that's when you can start really making your life happen. And it's incredible. So that's the Eight of Swords. I hope you enjoyed that. We are going to move right along into our Oracle card today. And it's from the Starseed Oracle again. It's a really good one. And it is baby steps. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. You're being called to take grounded action in response to your soul's calling. Just start where you are and begin building in a consistent way. So many people stop themselves from living a soul-led life because they're waiting to know the destination before taking the first step. But intuition doesn't work like that. Our soul is always calling us every moment of every day. The way to find yourself living in harmony with the cosmos is to listen to your soul's baby calls and whispers each and every day, and to take grounded action in the direction of those calls and whispers. You're being encouraged to start small, bite-sized, to put one foot in front of the other, to do one thing every day, to break things down into achievable tasks. Time on Earth goes slower than other planets. This may cause frustration for starseeds who can expect a faster pace of manifestation and thus give up before the seeds begin to sprout. If you resonate with that, it's time to opt for consistency over urgency. Time to take baby steps in the direction of your calling. To remember that you don't need to have it all figured out or know exactly where the path is leading you. You don't have to know every single step along the way before you set out on your great journey. You just need to take the next step. Baby steps, guys. Baby steps. I know that it gets really, really exciting whenever you figure out what it is that you want to do, whether that be, a career or even just something like, trying to lose weight or run a marathon, things like that, and it can seem so overwhelming, all the things that you have to do in order to get to that big manifestation, that big last step or that big successful break. And baby steps. I can tell you from my own experience with just trying to start a business, which I have no idea. I mean, now I know how to start a business, but I didn't before. I'll tell you this much, and I always say this: write it down. Write down your big goal, and then it's called chunking. Then you go in and you break that big goal down into steps, like monthly or weekly steps. And then you take those steps and you break them down even further, all the way down to where you have like daily steps. And those are your baby steps. And when you take those baby steps, celebrate yourself, okay? Because it is so much easier to take little baby steps every single day than to take on a whole bunch of stuff in 1 or 2 days and burn yourself out. And honestly, that's when doubt starts setting in. Like, can I really do this? Am I capable? Am I worthy? Yes, you are worthy. Just stop taking giant steps. Stop trying to eat the entire meal in one bite and just take little bites at a time. Okay? I hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good. It is time for some affirmations. Get you feeling even better. So let's start it off. Let's bring it down. And start by taking 3 slow and deep breaths. Now repeat after me. I am in control of my feelings. I am in control of my feelings. I am in control of my feelings. I choose to see the good in the world. I choose to see the good in the world. I choose to see the good in the world. I am doing my best every day. I am doing my best every day. I am doing my best every day. Are you ready for your challenge? It's an easy one, I promise. What I want you to do is to take one baby step, your first baby step towards that thing that you want to accomplish. Whatever that thing is, it could be big, could be small. But after you watch or listen to this, I want you to think about what that first little baby step is, and I want you to take that baby step. And if you want to take it even further, you can go ahead and start creating your plan, starting from the top with a big goal and breaking it down into smaller steps all the way to where you have little baby steps throughout your days. So I think it's pretty good. I think you'll enjoy it, and you will start manifesting the most amazing life that you could possibly imagine. All right, Soul Fam, that is it for today. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it. I think I learned something. I hope you did too. Please give me a follow on those social medias. I got Facebook at Cosmic Soul Official and Instagram at Cosmic Soul Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to this show so you never miss out on amazing mindfulness tips, manifestation tips. I'm here for you. We're here for each other. Let's make this world a beautiful place. If you are interested in getting some Reiki, I'm going to be opening up appointments on my website, Cosmic Soul Reiki, in about a month. So go check it out and bookmark it, get it ready, and let's get some good healing going for you, okay? Remember, you are creating the world around you by creating the world within you. Focus on the positive. Focus on positive solutions. Give your brain good food, not bad food. This world is yours for the taking. So take it, make it amazing by starting with you. Take those baby steps and you will see amazing results. I love you all so, so very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, stay cosmic.